Welcome to the Medium Rare Podcast, where the thoughts are half cooked, but the conversation is well done. Did I do it wrong? Okay, we're good. I'm your host, Brett Owens, and with me today is Alex DiToronto.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Sahil Gulani. And Tucker Moss. You know it.
Hey.
Ooh.
And our special guest today is Kyle Flora.
Yeah.
Hello.
Kyle, how are you?
Yeah.
Thanks for having
I'm
me.
glad to have
You're very
Kyle here.
welcome.
Kyle,
my
I don't
pleasure.
know, what do you do?
Yeah,
What do you
we
do?
were talking about that this week.
Dude, I see you doing all
Can we
this
go ahead and
cool-
turn the camera off?
And no, that's the thing. It feels like every time, I feel like if I start talking to you and I'm like, hey man, what do you do? And you're just like, ha, all right. And then just like move on.
Hey, do you want to see a picture of this food that I
Yeah.
My man is the best. Like, he knows where to eat. Like,
My
he's
man-
a
He's a food
foodie.
blogger.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, okay, so food blogger, hobby, never made a dime. I've spent my life savings on
On food.
That's a dream.
Don't you have a kid?
I do. I have an
guys-
8.5-year-old daughter, and she's amazing.
Shout out.
Shout out to
Shout out
the
to your
kiddo.
daughter. Doing a lot of shout outs.
She
Yeah.
eats food.
Please
She
don't
eats
listen
food.
to this.
Yeah, she will never hear this.
No, hopefully not.
What else do I do? So I work in business strategy a lot.
Okay.
So I help startups go,
Start.
forward. Yeah, start up. But I also produce and write. And for the past 14 years, I've worked in international nonprofit management.
Okay.
So 27 different countries. And many
Wow.
years later, I'm back here raising my kid.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
Shout out
You-
Kyle Flora.
You
Shout out Globe.
Shout out.
Shout out to the world.
Shout out you guys. Tucker and Kyle. Shout out Tucker and Kyle. You guys need to do a cooking show.
I'm
like
down.
y'all need to do
Yes.
Guy Fieri. And
No, I cook and he eats it, and then he cooks and I
Yes.
eat it, and then we critique each other.
Yes.
And it's
I'm
just
down
really
with those,
hateful.
like,
Cook the
down.
same.
You gotta get that Action
called hate.
Bronson beard though.
What is that?
You don't know who Action Bronson is?
I know who that is.
I don't.
He's
We'll
a
tec-
rapper that's also
We'll
a
text
food,
it to you later.
Like Ice
the
JJ.
best food show host of all time, other than Guy Fieri.
I was about to correct you. I saw you say that. I'm glad you looked at me and
Look
said,
up
"Besides Guy
Munchies. My
Fieri."
man is killing it. Anyway, well, we're gonna. Does anybody have any stories for this week?
I do. I keep this blanket in my car.
Can you wait for the vape to like blow out of your mouth?
It's gone. And like, if I'm ever feeling spontaneous, if things ever spark up
Take a quick nap.
With a woman.
with someone, this
Or okay, with or a man.
no, man. But not that anything's wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong with that.
But I keep that blanket in my car, and once in a while I'll have to wash it.
Shout out to blankets.
Shout out to blankets.
Shout
We
out.
gotta
Wow,
stop
with
the
the-
shout out.
I will say I do like blankets.
And I have an SUV, so the back seats go down. And so I was washing
Plenty of
this
room.
blanket. Nah, I don't need this ray gun.
It's halfway.
And my grandparents are in town. That's a cool fact.
Okay.
And I come downstairs, and my grandma is sleeping in my blanket, and I was so beyond mortified.
Had it been washed.
She's like, "Why is this like crusty on it?"
Wait, she picks it up and
God.
it's completely
It's like
hard.
She drops it and it shatters.
She could snap it in half. Yeah.
And
Sahil, your blanket broke.
I felt too bad for her, bro. I was just like,
I didn't have the similar situation, but a friend of mine did, and I won't say his name, but I think he listens, and if he is listening,
Sorry.
Shout
I
out.
love you, buddy. He said that he was with himself
Oh,
at home.
was it a sock?
No, it was a blanket,
Okay.
and he did. It was a lot on the blanket, apparently. And
Testosterone.
he went to bed. He just threw the blanket on the floor and went to bed. So his buddy came home. I mean, we already know where this is going. His buddy came home from a party. And he was tired, and he got in his bed, and he didn't have a blanket, and he got cold. So he grabbed that blanket. He grabbed that blanket and put it. He just like put it on like over his face, and he was
Whoops.
like, "What is Chad?" Love you, Chad.
Shit.
Nobody knows which Chad I'm talking
there's
about.
lots of Chads.
He's a Chad.
But he said, Chad? And Chad was like, laughing. Chad was just laughing so hard. And he was like, what is this? And And Chad was just like, don't worry, but you don't want to know, man. Just go take a shower. Just go take a shower. And the guy ran into the bathroom and threw up, and he had a patch right on his cheek.
Sir,
He had to jump in the shower. So
I
That's-
mean,
that's rough.
it just really be like that.
That's
I mean, it just be
It
like
seems
that.
like
it was a lonely
It
night.
seems like it'd be like that.
I'm just
Well,
calling out all my friends.
That
on my
blanket was
that's-
medium rare.
Yeah.
That's 2 episodes in a row we talked about masturbation at the start of the show. So.
Nice. Is it? Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
All
Yeah.
right. So enough about
Yeah,
semen.
don't start that trend.
yeah. I think
What
that's
kind of
it for us.
podcast is this?
I mean, we
That's
might
it.
find a certain following then if we.
I don't
really-
think you want that
Yeah.
demographic.
Anyway,
So
Kyle, you got any stories? Anything that happened to you this
Yeah. Visit the Patreon site. Your support's greatly appreciated.
week? Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's one story.
Okay.
Yeah. So every once in a while, I have this random fever, like not bad, like 100.4 or something like that.
Yeah, not.
That's a
It's
low
just
grade.
like low grade.
It's like
but for
death.
like a guy in his 30s, it's like I'm close to death.
No, I
probably.
died, I think.
Like any
Back in
moment.
the 60s.
you have
Yeah.
been to a lot of countries.
Yeah. It's probably just old malaria or something like
Old
that.
Old malaria.
Just like dormant
Not even-
That
diseases.
stuff is real nasty after a couple days.
Got the
Yeah.
in
black
fridge.
plague.
Yeah, I got the black lung pop.
He's got.
Shout out to Zoolander.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
So every once in a while, I'll just
I've got
like,
scurvy, guys. Sorry,
why do
can't
I
make it to
feel
the
like I
show.
have scurvy, you guys? Why is this a thing? And take my temperature and like, hey Eden, that's my daughter's name. Like, hey Eden, I think Daddy has a temperature. I'm getting sick, and she's like, no, you're fine. I think the thermometer's just busted. So we have like 3 or 4 thermometers at the house, and I keep buying them, and I think it's because I'm probably really sick, you guys.
No, okay.
I'm just
Shout
kidding.
out to
I thought you were gonna say you've been using the thermometer wrong.
I thought, yeah,
Yeah, it's for the ear, but it winds up in my nose.
I pulled it out of my ass. That's what I was
And
waiting
something was
for.
just wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to being sick.
Stop! We gotta stop with the shout outs. Okay.
No, but the real story was we had 2,500 square feet of sod show up at the house
Yeah.
mysteriously.
I saw that.
It was mysterious to me. I didn't know it was coming. My dad's like, "Hey, you're getting a new yard," and like, okay, we have 2 different houses, but I'm the one getting a new yard. That's fine. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't hire anyone, so you're doing all the work."
Okay.
And anyway, my dad and I worked in the yard for a few days this past week, and if you've never laid sod before,
Ooh.
it's pretty intense. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting
Terrible.
hit by a train.
It's very
Slowly.
tedious work.
Yeah, and it's not just like just throw it out there. No, it's like it's technical and it's difficult.
Yes.
So there's it's twofold. And so I'm guessing that's probably where the fever comes from because as you can see, like I spend most of my time eating food, professionally,
Yeah.
and not as much time doing manual labor.
Yeah.
Divorce is hard, you guys.
Yeah.
Pray you never know it.
Shout out to
So,
divorce.
yeah.
Maybe not.
I'll stop. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this to stop.
You're not doing a good
I
job.
know, I'm not doing a good job.
Anyway, I'm fine. I'm not sick. I just need to work out more.
Appreciate you.
Amen.
Bless up. Well, hit
Bless
me and
up.
Sahil up.
You and me both.
Anybody else got any stories?
I just watched your Insta stories, and I sort of like burn calories that way.
Yes,
I
yeah.
was
That's
like
gonna say, I have
vicariously
before, too, and
through
I feel
you.
like I don't have to work out.
What?
Like I
Watch-
get sweaty watching you. I don't know what that's
You watch our
about.
workout videos, and you're just like, oh wow, I think I'm good for the week. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's it for the year.
That looks hard. Wow. I'm good.
You guys got anything?
I have one from work. Okay, so this happened not too long ago where I was taking a delivery to someone's house, and this dude answered the door, and he was like, "What's up?" Like, trying casual conversation. I'm like,
I have your food.
I'm here for your food." And he was like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend's not here to pay for it." And I was like, "Oh,
So we gonna wait?
sweet." So he was like, "Yeah, let me call her." And I had delivered to his girlfriend before, but I guess she had ordered. I thought it was her that was going to answer the door, but it wasn't. She wasn't there for some reason. So I sat outside. He just closed the door, went inside. Was
Oh
like,
my god.
He just went inside and was like trying to call her to get her to hurry up and get over. And so I was just sitting there on the porch like, sitting there waiting.
Eating
So it was
her
like
food.
15 minutes passed, and he came out and was like, okay, yeah, she's on the way now. Should be here in like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, now okay, cool. Yeah, that's just 30 minutes.
Supposedly she was out like walking the dogs, and because I was there like a little like early. Usually because we have like a time limit of like an hours when it says we'll be there. But
You were there 30 minutes early?
Yeah.
And she came back with 0 dogs.
Man, you was just being a good guy
What
there
happens to the
early.
dog?
Yeah, no, I just got there early. You know, like usually if it works out like that, it's just I'm there early. But usually people are there to pay for the food. She
If
wasn't.
someone's there early, I would
But I
probably
see, like,
tip
I
them.
don't-
Hey, and what boyfriend doesn't just cough up some money for
yeah,
food?
that's one thing too. I was like,
You don't know the
you
relationship.
could
Apparently.
pay for it, but I mean I didn't say that, but I was
When
like,
I
okay,
order-
whatever.
Like,
You
nah,
don't
nah,
deserve
bro,
her.
Nah, bro, let me get that cash.
If I order food to be delivered to my home, I'm not leaving my home till my food gets there.
Exactly.
well, see, the
Because
thing
you're in
is,
a bad mood
she-
already.
Yeah.
Because you're
Well,
hungry.
see,
I'm always in a bad mood.
She had ordered the food and wasn't even there.
Was.
That's the thing. She ordered the food for the house she was going over there, but she wasn't even there. She ordered it and then he didn't have a way to pay for it. I don't believe that, but he said he didn't have a way to pay for it. So it took her forever to get there. And once she got there, she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." She's like real ditzy. You know, I don't think she'll ever listen to this.
Ooh.
She's like real like all over like ditzy like all over the place. You know what I mean?
She's just lightheaded.
She was like scatterbrained. She just
little-
had a lot going on.
She had a lot.
She had
I
just
guess.
walked the
time.
dogs. It was
All
a
the
big. It was a big
dogs.
day.
And she
Yeah,
obviously has to
big
take care of her
day.
boyfriend.
She had a lot to do that day.
But so she came there, and then she gave me her card to use, and it kept declining.
No.
And then I was like, it's cool. Like you get a different card, or like you cash, you can pay me in cash. She's like, I have another card. I lost it, but I know the number. I was like,
Oh, well, that doesn't help me,
Oh,
man.
no, it does. I
No,
can put
they
it
can
in,
punch it
because
in.
I can put it in manually.
Yeah.
But I was like, if you lost it, shouldn't you like cancel the card, or like turn it off, so just in case someone stole
Like,
it?
I'm just
Sounds
hoping,
kinda-
hoping
In my
it
head.
shows up.
But yeah, so she like told me it by whatever, and I just typed in and it worked.
You
I was like,
memorized it and you started buying things?
Like, it's her mom's card.
Who wouldn't?
She
so
memorized her dad's
she bought
Amex
it.
card.
And she had already included a tip on what she had bought, but she's like, "Here, take this." She gave me $20 for being
Oh,
late. I was like,
hey.
"Are you sure?" And she was like, "Yes." Like, I'm so sorry. I was so sorry. I'm so late. And I looked at the boyfriend though. I was like, "Are you sure?"
You don't think this woman can make her own decisions?
No, I'm just saying.
Like-
Because I was like,
He's
if
like a
if he
deadbeat
could've been like, it's
boyfriend.
$20.
Yeah, she gotta
had
donate to her
already
boyfriend.
Tipped. She already tipped me.
That's why
So I
she's
was
so
just-
scatterbrained. She's taking care of her boyfriend,
Yeah.
clearly.
And dogs.
But so she gave me the extra $20, and
And
I was
walking.
like, "Thank you. Have a nice night." And so, another detail I forgot to mention at the beginning: the boyfriend had already cooked chicken and shrimp tacos too.
Wait, how did
So they were. He's
just
eating
them He's, at like, the in door. the house by this point.
They were gonna have a big dinner. Like I think they got like chicken tenders or something from like
Dude,
Taco Mac
poor
or
guy.
something.
My perspective on this guy has completely changed. This
Yeah.
guy
He-
made dinner for her, and she's
he-
like, "I don't want."
No,
I
they were
want-
gonna eat.
Buffalo
They were
wings.
gonna eat both. They were gonna eat.
You know what,
both
Randy?
things. They were
We're
gonna
done.
eat good. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Y'all enjoy," and then I
Yeah.
left with my extra $20. I was
Dang.
like, told my boss, said, "Yeah, she gave me an extra $20 for being really late." And he was like, "Nice."
So can we go back and find this house? Because apparently they got fire food.
Yeah, true.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I know where
saying.
they.
Kyle's got to take some pictures and
Like,
put it on Facebook.
hey, y'all.
I know where they live.
Yeah,
We'll be there.
yeah, for
No.
sure.
And
Shortly.
we won't kill you.
We probably won't.
We just want your chicken and shrimp tacos.
Give me all the chicken and shrimp tacos.
now,
Chicken tenders sound smack right now.
Some tendies, bro.
Some tendies,
chicken tendy.
Tendies machine broke.
bro. All right, tendies machine broke.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
All right, so do we have any ghost stories or anything like that we want to talk about for the show?
I got a ghost story.
All
Yeah.
right, let's go for it.
Spooky.
It's sort of like a 3-in-1. So I went to a summer camp up in Rome, Georgia. It's called Camp Wind Shape. It's on Berry College's campus. If you don't know about Berry College's campus, it's
Haunted.
the largest college campus in the world. It's over 26,000 acres. And so obviously, huge place for spirits, right?
Sure.
26,000 acres of spirits.
Wait, what?
Hold on. No, Tugger, you get that. You
Why-
get that
why
because
did I get
It's
the
mine
raises?
now.
oh,
I was trying to figure out
It's
why I
my
got
ghost.
it.
Because
It's
you
my
were-
ghost killing gun.
you were talking about that lady having to ask her boyfriend for
Yeah,
permission.
I
inappropriate.
was just making doubly sure.
Whatever.
Hey, just think
dude.
about that.
Whatever you say.
Bigly.
Bigly, doubly sure.
Just spit water.
The,
Okay, sorry, Kyle.
continue.
hold
Sorry,
on,
Kyle.
let me put my thumb up. Okay.
Oof.
So I'm in Rome, Georgia. I spent about 13 summers up there. So
Okay.
Wow.
yeah, I mean, ever since I was a young kid, And there was always, you know, the counselors trying to scare you, like stories from the past. There's a lot of history over 26,000 acres, and you know, Martha Berry and how the campus was built and how the camp came about, et cetera, et cetera. And there was a couple of stories. One about this, they called him the Gray Man, right? And it was up on this ridge.
Is that
And
Albert Fish?
yeah.
Albert Fish is the gray man, right?
Yeah,
That's
I think
Apparently there's more than one,
Yeah.
because
Nice.
I was probably 11, I guess. Yeah, 11 or 12. And we're just getting ready for bed. And the way that our cabins were, there's a few different tribes. And our cabins were up on the ridge. And there was a huge forest right behind our cabins. And the counselors, would, try to get us to go to bed quick and be like, better get in bed. He's coming to get you. Or like that. Pull pranks and like hide under the bed and like grab you while you're going to sleep. I'm like,
See, I would clock
Dude,
oh yeah,
someone.
No, I mean we did.
Don't
we
hide
got
under my bed.
we got straight up revenge. It was good. I won't tell that story. Maybe if I ever come back here. But anyway, I come back to the back room where all the beds are, and there's a back door, and there's 2 window air conditioning units. I open up the back door, and I'm just like, there's these red eyes in the woods. And I'm like, no.
That's a no
I
for me, dog.
slammed the door. And I'm like telling the counselor, hey, bro, you've been telling me this story and this is legit. And he's like, I was just messing with you, Kyle. Like, it's not. I'm like, bro, it's for real. And anyway, a couple days later, other kids had been saying they had seen it. And it was just like exacerbating the story of this gray man. Anyway, I still think that it was real. I don't know. I was young. Your mind plays tricks on you, but I saw what I saw. On the same campus. I don't know if it was necessarily the same year or not, but there's this huge well house. That's already bad.
Automatically.
Yeah, just
no
like
thanks. Nope.
if it was in a movie, a majority of the audience would be like, get
there.
out of there. Like, don't go in there. It's like that. And so, and this is ancient, like 1800s probably, maybe even before. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a
It was
definite.
the first well in America.
It's a definite no.
Very
Wow,
first.
it said it's like a little
very
plaque.
first-
Yeah.
This is the first one.
Yeah,
we
very
promised.
first well.
You
Yeah.
have my word.
Yeah. So they had this myth about this green lady or whatever she was called. And it was a green lady because it used to be like a greenhouse over there. The well next to a greenhouse. Made sense to me. And we'd
Is this just another story that they made up to scare you, or is
No.
this
This was just like a
folklore or something?
this was
or-
just just a story that you found out as you were a camper there for many years. It wasn't to scare anybody. It was just like, hey, by the way, this is a thing, or at least this is the story, or the the fairy tale, the nightmare. So we're driving. You had to walk miles and miles and miles. You had to walk miles and miles and miles to get back and forth to your cabin, to the main events and stuff. It's like pitch black outside. We have, our flashlights. We're on this walking trail. We're passing by the well house, and I probably had 3 or 4 friends with me at the time. We're all like flashing our flashlights over there. We're like, let's go in. Like, let's check it out. It's pretty spooky. Let's be brave.
Right.
And we're like 7 years old or something. Let's be brave. We're like crying together. And anyway, we go in. We're like, no big deal. Look in the well. No big deal. As we're
You
leaving,
looked in the well,
we
dude?
look.
That's how you get the
I
grudge.
know that's how you die. Anyway,
So dumb.
if Pennywise were there, I would have been dead for
Oh,
sure.
definitely.
So we as we're leaving, we're like, leave the door wide open. As we're leaving, boom, door slams. I'm like, okay, maybe
Red flag.
so and so, maybe one of my friends is in there. I'm like, he's not my friend anymore because that's not cool. It's like, that's a terrible prank.
You're out of the
No.
club.
We're like, are we all here? Yeah. Then what was that? I don't know.
Run.
Yeah. So we take off. We sprint like 2.5 miles. We're like drenched with fear and shame and sweat by the time we get back. Nobody believes us, obviously, but yeah, I'm still convinced to this day. Like, if I were to go back there, you could
Get
You could
yeeted
find-
into that well, dude.
For sure. I'd like yeet some
just
holy
pulls
water
you
bombs
down.
into that well.
Please.
Yeah, like holy water bombs into that well.
Oh,
Is that
Messed
a
up.
Fortnite weapon?
you had one more. You said you had 3.
Yeah, if we have time later, I'll come back to the.
Okay. Well, I did have. We good? We good, guys?
Sorry, I made a really bad joke. No one
Nobody-
laughed, and I was
like-
laughing at my own joke, and then he started laughing.
He was laughing at you, laughing at your own joke.
I had one other story. So there's another graveyard over by my house. There's a bunch of graveyards around my parents'
Yeah,
house when I
it's-
was a kid.
It's a very old place.
And being white, we camped out. Me and a few friends camped out. Like, I mean, I'm white, so
Yeah, you do.
White
I
guy.
got it when I shit on Indians. So
okay. Okay, I guess that works. But being white, me and a few friends, we camped out in the woods, like far off, somewhat far away from the graveyard, but you could see it at a distance. And I remember waking up to go to the bathroom outside of our tent, and I was just going to the bathroom, and I looked up, and there's a woman in a white dress, and it looked
Nope.
like that's what it looked like,
Mm-hmm.
and she was just staring. And I was like, I didn't see that. I'm gonna go back to
She's-
sleep. I
She's
just went.
looking at your willy.
Pee-pee?
I didn't see. Yeah, it's like, excuse me, ma'am. I'm trying
Can
to
I have some
pee."
privacy?
pee with you looking at me. I can't pee with you looking at me. Okay?
He like pulls out his British accent.
Well, I was just like, well, I didn't see that. I'm gonna go back to sleep, and I went to sleep. And the next morning, my buddy said he did. He got up. I woke him up, and he got up and went to the bathroom after I came back, and he said he saw the exact same thing.
that is something I do not mess with at all.
Yeah, so I don't like that small.
So we're gonna be doing a podcast from a graveyard.
From the graveyard. We're
It's
gonna
gonna
go
be
camping
all night. It's a fundraiser for Sahil's Fears.
No, us colored people don't do stuff like that. Yeah,
Oh, there we
like
go.
I see a dark space and I was like, you know what?
He's
Don't explore
he's
that.
like he
This ain't it,
sleeps with
Chief.
the lights on.
This ain't it.
Shit, really not
He
worth
sleeps
it.
with the lights on and everything.
Oh,
like,
true.
That's a vibe.
No,
Yeah.
thank you. Anybody
I
else?
mean, I sleep naked, so like someone's gonna come get me. They's gonna
It's gonna be uncomfortable for someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really out.
Not for you, but
Anybody got any others?
I'll tell mine about last Halloween. I was working at the post office delivering, and it was late. It had gotten pretty dark at this time, and I'm riding around in my truck, and the windows, they roll down, but I had my door like all the way open.
This was on Halloween.
Mhm.
You were working on Halloween. This
Yes.
is like during the daytime.
it's like passing
No,
out candy.
it was nighttime.
Also,
in
do you
the
have like a
evening.
post office, like a real post office vehicle, or like I know some deliver?
It's a real
Okay.
post office vehicle, but I had you have the sliding door open,
uh-huh.
and so it reveals your whole body.
Yeah.
But it was so dark, and I think my lights had gone out or something because it was extra dark. My vehicle was extra dark that night.
On Halloween,
Yeah.
I would have gone home.
Of all
And
times.
I also
You're just driving with your lights off
Yeah,
in the
it's
dark.
like I'm
in the
celebrating
neighborhood.
Sam
Yeah, in the
Hain right now.
neighborhood. And there's kids
God.
running around, but it's past that time where all the little kids are trick or treating. It's
And now
all
the teenagers are out.
all the
jerks.
and stuff.
Metal
Having
dude.
They're all out, spray painting or TPing people's houses.
Lighting fires.
And I roll up to this mailbox, and you imagine it's completely dark, and the lamp in the truck itself had gone out, so I had a headlamp on that my dad gave me, and so I was looking at all the mail.
Why
Shout out to our government's postal system.
It was
Why are there no lights anywhere to be found?
Because it's Halloween.
It was the worst truck that I was stuck in that day,
Ugh.
and nobody ever reported anything
Haunted
wrong
truck.
with it. So I did that night. But that night I had a headlamp on, and it has two settings: the white bright light and 2 little red dots right here. And so when I'm driving by, I drive up on these kids that are forking someone's yard.
Classic.
For Halloween.
They like stick forks into the.
Pitchforking
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, not pitchforks, but yeah, regular.
yeah, like little plastic.
Bunch of
They,
little
they
kids.
they're like, wow, they just spent $1,500 on pitchforks for this yard.
And I roll up on them, and I just switch it over to red and go, and I just turn, and they went,
It's the haunted mailman.
and I just open the mailbox
You
slowly,
just hear.
special throw some in, and go, and drive off, and I hear the kids.
Just laughing maniacally. That's so dope.
No, but
Pranking the pranksters, classic.
I really think I scared those kids real bad. They're probably like 10 to 13 years
That's
old.
great.
That's
Nice.
You guys got any ghost stories?
I do not.
No more?
No more spookies.
Not really a ghost story, but like one time something definitely consumed me because like I'm not a
He was
What
eaten
now?
by
it
something.
wasn't drugs. It was something had consumed me because I don't sleepwalk. One night I have no recollection of this. I went, and it's probably like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I went downstairs, went to my parents' bedroom, had a whole conversation with my mom, and said God knows what. And then I guess a little while later, I open the door, go outside, and sleep in my neighbor's yard. And I woke up the next morning to my parents hovering over me.
Did you do a drug
Like,
test
actually
that day?
Levitating.
No, I
They were the haunted ones. They were the haunted ones.
I straight up just woke up in my like neighbor's yard. I don't know why.
It sounds like
You
Donnie
never
Darko.
Were you clothed?
Yeah, I was clothed.
Okay,
See,
that's
there,
weird.
that,
There
that
was no-
get,
there was no
that's
foul
weird.
signs of
No,
foul
no, I'm
play,
just
yeah.
saying that's weird as it is because you sleep naked. So therefore,
No, not always. Not when I was chunkier. Like I didn't.
okay,
Now, if somebody wants to see me, I got that felt
I got-
frame,
I keep
dude.
that-
got the
thing on me.
Abercrombie lines, bro.
God.
Got that Abercrombie lines.
But yeah,
You never took any, like, sleeping, like, anything
No,
help you
that,
sleep?
at that
It was
point,
like
I
he
never
had a
like,
reaction
anxiety
to
or
his
anything.
casein protein, and
No, this was like before. This was before I was like working out.
This
or
was in the
anything.
Cheez-It vinegar days.
Yeah, that is the
Classic.
best way to
Isn't
put
that
it.
that's
still
okay.
now?
Okay,
No, that is
Not
past.
now.
that's
Not
a
cheat
drunken
day?
stupor.
Not cheat day?
Cheese and vinegar.
Nope,
like
that was just a
Cheat
weird
day
kid
time
thing.
for
That's
some
so crazy.
Cheez-Its and
I was just-
vinegar.
So did your parents ever tell you like what the conversation was about that night, or
I had like a normal conversation. Like I still have conversations with my mom right before I go to bed.
Do you sleep? You don't sleepwalk or anything?
No, never.
you did?
wild.
Which is crazy because our house has like an alarm. So I obviously disabled the alarm and then went outside.
Ooh.
You were possessed. Sorry.
That's
You got
terrifying. Sorry.
Hey, bro. You
Had
got
to
them
break it to you.
spirits.
You got spirits.
Was it also Halloween?
No.
He like passed
He
out
saw-
while he
he
was
saw a
torquing his
mailman.
neighbor's yard.
He saw a mailman drive up with 2 red
Full
lights.
circle.
He was.
Full
He had no recollection, but he was with the kids forking the yard.
There's a lot of snakes in our neighborhood, so I was glad I didn't get bit or anything.
He like wakes up inside of an anaconda in Peachtree City. somehow.
yeah.
I was
Dang it.
consumed by something.
Dang it!
Yo, speaking of anacondas in Peachtree City, there is a lady going around in this general area, like the South Atlanta area, nabbing kids.
No, she got arrested.
She got arrested?
She got arrested.
Nice.
Oh, they got her?
Let's
Good
just
deal.
give
Nice.
away
They
our,
got her
our
in
location.
Sharpsburg.
By
No,
the
he
way.
already said Peachtree City, so I was like, ah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're not in Peachtree City.
Yeah, we're
near it.
No, we're in the Metro Atlanta area.
Okay, we're done talking about our location. Anyways,
Come and
Greater
find us.
Atlanta
Did-
area.
are you good? You said you didn't have any more.
I really haven't. I'm really scared of trying to go up the stairs
I have one.
at night when you're
I-
the
I-
last one.
I do have
That's
one more.
spooky.
I do have one more.
Okay.
So for about 5 years, I lived in Geneva, Switzerland. Well, right outside of Geneva, Switzerland, in a little farm village.
He said, "What
And
the?"
Awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was awesome.
I learn more and more about Kyle every time
I'm-
I
He's an
see him,
anomaly.
like-
I'm an enigma. It's
yeah, you really are.
It's an
you find out that I'm like just a compulsive liar. Like none of
None
my
of this
life's
is
true.
Don't tell me.
Like
you're
I work
lying.
at Kmart or
Dude, you're
something.
like Robert California from The Office. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I know nothing about you.
No, I'm Boz Kasamakis. Is that what?
Buzz
Was that?
Kasamaki, that's what he changed his name
Yeah,
into.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so I'm living in this huge building. I mean, we're talking dozens of bedrooms. It was originally back in the 1800s, a Swiss orphanage, and
Creepy.
yeah, creepy. So when I moved in, there was a guy named Conrad. He was the last living orphan, and he still lived there and took care of the place.
The fact that his name
Nobody
is Conrad is already creepy.
Yeah, he's
Nobody
like,
else. Nobody else
Nope.
lived there with him. He just took care of the place.
no, he just like he had lived there his whole life. After he, I guess, you graduate from being an orphan and become a man or something. I don't know, like
Oh, God.
Yeah, yeah.
whatever, whenever
Oh,
that
God.
happened. I don't
Have a
know.
graduation
18, I
ceremony
think.
for the
Yeah,
kids
whenever,
that get left
yeah,
behind?
whenever like
You
the
didn't get
age,
picked.
yeah, like 16,
Here's your certificate.
yeah, 16 or 18, like, hey, you can leave. You're not a prisoner here.
You own yourself now.
Yeah.
It's so messed up.
He I guess ended up living there or eventually came back to be, a groundskeeper. And anyway, the organization I was working for at the time, we bought the building, and one of the stipulations in the underwriting was that he could live the rest of his life there. And so he stayed in the same room since he was a little kid, he came back and stayed in that room at the top of the stairs, and I was 2 doors down. And anyway, he ends up passing away a couple of years into my stay there. He was a nice guy.
Did he pass away in his room?
Yeah, he just died of old age. It wasn't.
Oh,
you know,
he was, yeah. So he was
yeah,
very old.
I mean, I'm talking about he was born probably 1900.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, legit.
That's
Like
cool.
he was really old. Yeah, he was a cool guy. He was a nice guy. And anyway, after that happened, a couple of times, you know, there were some cellars and stuff. Like we had a huge industrial kitchen, and there was a huge cellar under it, and where we kept our like potatoes and stuff like that. And I used to run the kitchen there, and we'd go down, and the lights, again with the lights, the lights never worked, and I swear every time I went into that cellar,
There was a mailman.
I could just feel it. I could just feel this presence, right?
I don't need
Right.
your mail.
And it wasn't like
Was it the same feeling you got when he was actually
no,
around?
no. And it wasn't even about him. I just thought that it was an interesting part of the story. But it was almost like you knew some dark, like not necessarily twisted stuff, but just some like maybe some punishings or something went on in that cellar. Because when I went down there, it was just like this ominous feeling of like dread. Like I always rushed in and rushed out, and you know we would like see things or hear things like I don't know, like
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
pitter patters, feet and stuff.
My brother was, and I'm sure he won't mind me telling this at all. He was he grew up in an orphanage
Yeah,
in Russia.
in Russia, and he said some crazy shit went down. Like
Yeah.
he had scars in his head. Like people have like thrown rocks at him and shit.
Well, I mean, the Russians, they got giraffes driving cars and
Yeah, and
They got
presidents
pet-
riding bears.
dinosaurs are still there.
Yeah. And
Russia's
That's what I
wild.
heard.
No,
I heard
he
they
was
still have
wild.
dinosaurs.
he was talking about this one psychopath that literally just took an iron. What's the proper term for that?
Yeah, an
like
iron.
a clothing iron. Yeah, and
I think it's iron.
yeah, I didn't know if there's like some other term, but
Chemisier ironing.
yeah,
Thing.
he ironed this bitch's face, bro. He went up to her like hot and everything.
Whoops. Maybe he thought she was a shirt.
That's
I
hot.
Like you
thought
got
she
a
was
flat
a
face. I
shirt.
thought you were a shirt.
You're free to go.
That's the kind of energy at those places.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad. Where
I mean, it's also not
I'm just saying,
Russia.
like,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
no, it wasn't. It was neutral Switzerland.
Yeah.
I had
Right.
I had a similar feeling in a room, like the dread
Yeah.
kind of in a certain room. Well, my fiance, Rebecca. Shout out to Rebecca.
Shout out.
Shout out
We love
Hey,
you.
Rebecca.
bless up.
Bless
Yes.
up.
She be curving dudes at the gym. That's crazy.
Yeah, I gotta lay it down over there. Make sure
Please.
nobody.
I got your back,
touches her.
bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
No,
me
but
too.
like she was as a child, she was very stupid, and she used a Ouija board.
Oh,
As you
Ask
often
for a
do.
demon.
And a lot of things happened there, and she can attest to it that it was very terrifying stuff. I can't remember exactly what happened, but the old bedroom that she stayed in, the light in the closet would always flicker. When I spent the night there, back on our early days of spending the night, or spending the night, of dating.
Slumber
over-
parties.
Yeah.
I'm going
Paid
to
each
Rebecca's
other's
house.
nails.
Your first sleepover.
We talked about boys.
We
no,
cheat.
but dude, the light. Yeah, we just talked about me the whole time.
Brett.
No, the light would flicker on and off, and that would freak me out. So I would like sleep with like her pillow over my head, so I wouldn't look at it.
It's her dad. Just like get the hell out of here, Brett.
And then what else? Oh, and then we went back after she had moved out, and they made it into like an office area. Like the moment she moved out, it's really sweet of her
Same.
mom.
She literally like walked out the door, turned around. It was
Turned
already
around,
an
there was a
office.
computer, like a nice.
She wakes up with a desk in her
We
room.
walked-
now that's
we
some
walked-
demon stuff right there.
we walked
Floating.
in there, and I just sat there, and it was just like a heaviness.
Yeah.
It was just like a weight on my shoulders.
Definitely spiritual.
Yeah, and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, I need to get out. I need
Yeah,
to
someone
leave.
might have been
I need a
killed
Mountain
here.
Dew or
Okay,
something.
so that
On God.
I need a
that
Mountain-
reminded me. I have
I need a
one.
Mountain Dew.
I have one more.
So we're we have like 15 minutes left.
Oh wow.
Wow.
This one we got by fast.
Give me a little bit longer.
I can condense
Can we?
my
Can we?
shit.
Give me a little bit
mine's
longer.
very short. My
Mine's real
topic's
short,
short.
too. Well, one, I was going to say we should have Rebecca and Brittany on.
Okay.
They were both stupid when they were younger.
Yeah.
We should probably get into.
Shout out to wives.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to
What'd you say?
wives.
Probably get into alien stuff.
Yeah,
we're gonna
Yes.
do that. Let's do that.
You want me to go first?
We cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So
no. Hold on. Tucker goes first this time. Tucker's got the short end of the stick
he's gotten
every
dicked.
week.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I chose something that I hope. Hopefully, no one has chosen this. If someone did, I kill myself. I've said before.
Oh God.
Fingers crossed.
This one was the 1561 celestial phenomenon over Nuremberg.
Exact same.
Did you?
I'm just kidding.
did.
You picked double team.
Are you
dude.
kidding? That's awesome.
First
That's awesome.
time.
That works great for us.
First
That's
time
good.
in medium rare history we got a double team. I wish we had a sound effect that we
lying.
could use.
Post
No,
production.
I'm serious.
On God. Show me.
I'm pretty sure that this is if it's spelt the right way. If it's spelt the same way.
Dude, Tucker, why are you mad? This is not a bad thing.
Oh no, that's not it.
Oh, I thought you said it was the same thing.
Dang it, dude.
Y'all got me all
Nuremberg.
excited here.
I don't
That
know
said
why.
Nuremberg. That says Russia.
Sorry. God.
Nuremberg's in Germany.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you ever heard of the Nuremberg
Similar
trials?
languages to me.
Okay,
Shout
well,
out
come
to
on,
geography.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
we-
almost got a little like heated for a second.
Hey, I saw you,
How?
man. You're biting
Like,
your tongue.
how?
Go ahead.
Okay. So this was in, as he said, Nuremberg, Germany. It was a mass sighting of celestial phenomena or unidentified flying objects over Nuremberg, Germany. So the phenomenon has been interpreted by some modern UFO enthusiasts.
I want to make it clear that we are doing alien sightings. I didn't
Yes.
say
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's our topic
That's our
for
Oh
this.
yeah, no, yeah.
Aliens.
Aliens.
Interpreted by some modern UFO enthusiasts as an aerial battle of extraterrestrial origin. So I thought that sounded cool.
What was
aerial
it?
battle of extraterrestrial origin.
Ooh.
A little spicy.
And proportions.
Little
Star Wars.
spicy.
That's cool.
It was
Shout out to Star
published.
Wars.
That whole thing was actually published in a news article that morning on a broadsheet. If anyone knows what a broadsheet is, like literally just
It's like the news.
yeah, basically just a big old fat sheet. They had and it
It's
had,
a broadsheet.
It was like and they put like wood carvings of or wood engravings of like the events. And
The
I don't have a
pictures and
picture. Yeah, I don't have a picture of it on with me, but you can look it up online. You'll see it when
People
first
just
You
go
can carve
up to
it
it
for
like,
us
man,
later."
I really wish I knew what this was.
there were words on it. It wasn't just like a wooden. Like they actually had like a story, and then it was like a picture on it.
Gotcha.
But around dawn on April 14th, 1561, residents of Nuremberg saw what they described as an aerial battle, followed by appearances of a large black triangular object and then a large crash.
You said
outside.
1561.
1561.
Wow.
That's I mean, there's some biblical notes of like UFOs and like even stuff like even before 1561. So this is just one that I thought that would be interesting just to cover something from really far back.
Yeah, I was trying to do that too.
Witnesses observed hundreds of spheres, cylinders, and other odd-shaped objects that moved erratically overhead. So all these weird-looking shapes. Many skeptics believe them to be sunspots or some natural phenomenon of the sort from then and today as the events were described. Some also believe it could be possibly like religious propaganda. Like today, a lot of people are thinking that maybe it was just like propaganda that they used to like scare people or something. It could just be something strange that was just happening. Because of how old it is, we'll never be able to really tell like what exactly happened because literally the only thing they have on it is that broadsheet. So don't even know if it really happened or not.
Okay.
But I don't think someone would make a broadsheet with all the news on it that everyone would see just to scare everybody.
They were making memes back then.
Yeah, it was actually just a meme.
Classic meme.
But yeah,
Crazy.
so I just got a lot of the information off of Wikipedia, just 1561
All right.
celestial.
Let's go, Sahil.
In 2006, 12 airport employees at the Chicago O'Hare International Airport reported seeing a metallic saucer-shaped craft hovering over gate C-17.
Just the employees?
And the pilot and the co-pilot.
Man, they just trying to get off work.
Hey, that's what I'm
They
saying.
ain't trying
Yeah,
to
we
stay.
saw some.
No, that is crazy.
Like, I'm hungry. Y'all hungry? Yeah, we saw some.
And it was
pizza.
it was a United Airlines flight. So,
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't know.
Spoiler alert.
Y'all want to hit the Einstein's bagels, please?
But
Apparently, you get probed on the United
They
flight,
were,
too.
yeah. United, dude, they got tired of beating up passengers and killing dogs, so they were just
Yeah.
like, we gotta get.
I don't
There's
know,
an
it's-
alien up there.
this sounded like a lot of government
Blame
hush
shifting.
hush.
Yeah.
My story, honestly, it sounded
Okay.
like a lot of government hush hush.
Go for it.
The airport employee said it was obviously not clouds. The hole reportedly seemed to close itself shortly afterward and shot up. And they described it as a weather phenomenon. And There's not many weather
I don't know
phenomena
too many
listed
hurricanes
like,
that just leave.
Like we had reverse rain today. It was the most crazy
the
thing.
water. I was like,
One note I want to say, I'm glad we're saying phenomenon a lot because I said it a lot. I thought I was
Hey,
like, man, I'm saying it
classic
way too
movie.
much. Phenomenon.
Phenomenal.
you know,
Phenomenal.
words.
Okay, but so far there's been no photographic evidence of the UFO, even though there were a few passengers with cameras. So those pictures somehow disappeared.
Paid off.
So, and then the official FAA stance on it was that it was a weather phenomenon, but a lot of people suggested that someone at the Chicago Tribune was upset that federal officials declined to investigate further, because even if there was that, and like the tower controllers were joking about it, but even if there was like such a huge energy, they should probably invest into some sort of technology that detects this kind of energy, because
Just in case it's
That's a huge
dangerous.
threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. It just sounded like a lot of hush hush.
It's really interesting.
That's super sus.
And while we're on the topic
Super
of aliens, I'm going to be in a short film called called 51. That's why I got this haircut, and if you don't see it, you're dead to me. So
Shout out John Martin.
Shout out John Martin.
Shout
I'm
out.
excited for this thesis.
Shout out.
Shout out Minecraft.
Get out of my room. I'm playing Minecraft.
Shout
out
out Area
Minecraft
51. Okay, do you want to go?
You go. I'll close.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh.
Kyle's got a story.
Okay, that's fine.
Nice.
All right, so I just went with the 1947, the first well-known UFO sighting, the one that created the term flying saucers. So Kenneth Arnold claimed to see a group of 9 high-speed objects near Mount Rainier in Washington while flying his small plane. Arnold estimated that the speed of the crescent-shaped objects was several thousand miles an hour. So I think it was like 1,200 miles an hour or something. It was like super fast. He couldn't really. They were buzzing, I think, around or whatever. In the newspaper report followed it. It was mistakenly stated that the objects were saucer-shaped. So hence the term flying saucers. So he didn't actually say it was flying saucers. I think it was just made up by the media.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or did they know?
Me-
Fake
Media.
news?
Or
Fake
did-
news?
Or did they
Shout
know?
If the media can make up flying saucers, what else do you think
But
that
that's
they can
crazy.
make
Like
up?
this is what makes us think
Keto
of
diet?
like that shape.
saucer.
Yeah.
What's that?
Said that media made up the
The
keto
me-
diet too.
Yes, that is.
Shout out to carbs.
It's regarded.
It's the Atkins propaganda movement.
It's regarded as the first modern day UFO sighting. It was the first post-war sighting, and ended making the news, which we stated. And since then, there have been more and more sightings and claims seeing the saucers. So there's a lot of people just saying that they saw stuff,
Yeah.
just
I
because.
saw it.
Yeah,
I had
There
seen it with my eye.
it was up
Thank
there.
you.
Anyway, I got that one from. That's all I've got, but that was from History.com. If you want to check them out in the Wikipedia.
Okay.
Nice.
Mine is actually like a happening that people can accredit to aliens, which is actually not Tucker's topic. This is about the Dyatlov Pass, which is in Russia. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Okay.
Is that the big circle in the woods?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But it is, well, no. It is does take place in the woods.
Okay.
Take place in the woods.
Wait.
Everything in Russia does.
Okay.
You
this
know-
this is a true,
Thank you.
real investigation that is an unsolved mystery. Takes place during a
He was hoping it was a quiet one. It was a loud.
It would just
Sahil got himself a howler.
I thought it would just sift through my butt cheeks.
dang guys.
It was a lot more thunderous than
The show is falling apart.
Okay.
No, it's not. We're holding it together.
It's not stinky,
Go,
so you're
go,
welcome.
go, Alex.
So it's a hiking trip that happened back in the 50s in Russia. It was freezing cold. I think the temperatures were below 0 Celsius. So that's it was really cold. That's
It
all.
was under 32
Death.
degrees.
Yeah, for sure.
It was death
I was
degrees.
about to say
Yes.
0 degrees Celsius is 32.
Started out with 10 hikers. One got sick, left early. He's the lone survivor of the entire group. Their tent was found torn and shredded from the inside out. So their markings went out.
Oh,
Last
they talk
podcast.
about this on last podcast. Yeah.
They talked about this a little bit.
I thought it sounded familiar.
The first 2 bodies were found about a mile away from the camp, wearing only their underwear. It was really cold, so there's no reason for them to be in their underwear.
Mm-hmm.
The next 3 bodies were found closer to the camp. 2 had fractured skulls, but died of hypothermia, which is strange. The other 4 bodies were found 2 months later. 1 with a fractured skull, 2 had crushed ribs, and 1 had a missing tongue. And these 4 bodies were wearing the previous naked body's clothes. The 2 that were found by the tree line, the first 2 that were found.
Jeez.
The clothes were found to be radioactive, as well as the entire area. The trauma was determined to be too strong to be human, and it was all internal, almost like
So
it
no
had-
Like it
outward
got
punctures.
punched?
Right.
Yeah.
Like they had just been like blunt objects.
But
hit
from-
'em.
Or there was
Inside
forces
out
with
or something.
forces on
that
the
is
inside.
so creepy.
Yes.
That is too creepy.
Multiple reports of floating spheres in the sky around the time of the event, the time before and after, and but the radioactivity could be explained because of aliens, as well as like the fact that these were inhumanely strong things, whatever caused.
Yeah,
this.
that is one of my favorite episodes of last podcast.
Definitely.
So there's
Definitely.
wait, so the source of there's like nothing near there that could be.
There's no plant. It's just out in the woods. It's a hiking trail.
So what you learn is don't play strip poker in Russia.
Yeah, that's what happened.
In the-
clearly.
yeah, I guess so.
That's what they were doing.
I guess so.
It gets real.
And then they started wearing each other's clothes.
Yeah.
And then they died.
no, them aliens were experimenting on them
That's
guys. Yeah,
crazy,
that
man.
is.
Or
I
maybe,
love
maybe
that
it was
story.
the Russian
That's so-
government.
That's crazy.
The crime scene
Shout out to
photos.
the government.
Shout out to the Russian government.
Crime scene
Don't hack us.
photos were horrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
What'd you say?
The crime scene
Oh,
photos.
yo,
Oh,
you
yeah.
saw
What do you
the
mean?
picture?
In
I
what
don't
way?
think I ever looked up the photos.
If you have a weak stomach, don't. But it's some of the scariest things I've ever
Wait,
seen.
explain a little more. Like,
I mean, they're mutilated
just
bodies.
did.
like
and
no, like I don't understand what makes it creepy. Like they're not like. What do you mean mutilated? Like,
their ribs are crushed from the inside out.
so they're like bruised. Like you can tell that they're bruised.
Yes, and their tongues are. This woman's tongue is ripped
gone.
out,
It's gone.
and they're wearing each other's clothes. Like they don't fit, and they're missing different parts of their clothing.
Somebody
They're
was
found
playing
up in
dress up,
trees and stuff like
like
that.
we were little dolls.
And
That
this
is creepy.
So there's a lot of different theories, but I mean everyone believes I think that's aliens.
Oh, that is so creepy.
All right, Kyle.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, let's see. I think it was back in 2012. I was on a trip to CES, Consumer Electronics Trade Show in Las Vegas, and I was doing some R&D for some companies back then. Anyway, we got there early, a couple of days early, just to like see Vegas. I'd never been. We got a rental car and we decided to drive out to Rachel, Nevada, Grim Lake, and the Little Alien, get a slice of pie, and Area 51 is out there. So
The little alien.
the Little Alien. It's like this,
Play on
play on words,
Play
yeah.
on.
It's cute play on words. They have great pie.
Shout out
If
to
you
pie.
yeah, shout out pie. Yeah,
gotta stop
absolutely.
this.
3.14159727.
Banana cream
Stop.
pie, be
Not that pie.
Oh,
You know numbers because you work in the postal system. My man.
Shout out to the
Yeah.
postal system.
So we get out there, we get some pie. We're talking to this guy. He's like, come to find out, he's a shaman of sorts.
Very cool.
I don't remember his name, but I know the word feather was involved. And we're talking to him. We're asking him like, hey, what have you seen? Like, have seen some crazy stuff. Obviously, he had some crazy stories because he's a shaman and they have crazy stories. Whether it was drug induced or legitimate, I don't know. But he was able to show us on a map how to get to one of the gates for Area 51 that normally visitors don't go to. It's not illegal to go to, but it's just not a well-known gate.
Right.
So we have an unmarked Crown Vic white as our rental car. We have GoPro on the outside of the rental car because we're trying to capture footage of everything that we saw or heard.
Right.
So we by the time we left the Little Alien, it was already dark. It was time to go. So we went out and we found our way to this basically track graded road, tank graded road. So it's like a double wide road, dirt road, gravel road, and it was built for tanks, I guess, because of the way that it was graded. So we ended up just going down. This is about a 2.5-3 mile drive to the gates.
It's just empty. Just nothing.
Just nothing.
desert?
Just no lights. Nothing. All
Oh,
we
is this at night?
yeah, this was at
Okay.
night. So this is probably about 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock at night by the time we got out there.
Y'all bold. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we weren't going to make the drive back out the next day to do it. We were like, let's just go ahead and get this over with.
Was it just you guys and Feather?
Yeah. No, Feather didn't come. We left him at the Little Alien.
Poor
I was
Feather.
not going to bring this guy anywhere into the dark with me.
Well, as one might
Yeah.
not do.
Like, he might have been ethereal. We don't know. Wow. So anyway, we get out there. And, yeah, I mean, it's a graded road, so we have to go like 15 miles an hour. So it takes us a while to get like 3 miles down the road. We get to the gate. You know, it's just like, you know, trespassers will be shot, blah, 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 U.S. government, Area 51, yada, yada, yada. We had we were set. We had binoculars and stuff with us because we wanted, you know, maybe we'll see something. It was cool. It was already 10 o'clock at night. And so we were just like, let's just be quiet, turn the car off, turn the lights off. Let's just take this in. We might not get another moment like this. So a couple minutes of just like silence, and we started to hear these like sonic booms. We're like, okay, they're probably testing. I wasn't like, maybe it's a UFO, maybe it's not. They're probably testing some high tech, you know. Now I know we got Space Force coming up. Maybe that was some early R&D, right? Shout out to Space Force.
Dude, we're gonna die after
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
Our podcast is gonna
The
get
U.S.
wiped.
government has removed this project.
Anyway, we're there for a while. I'm like, this is cool. We get a picture of the gate. That's cool. And I look up on the ridge. I'm like, there's some like red lights. Not like red lights from your headlamp.
Mailman.
No. Just like red laser lights. Red laser lights.
Mailman's back.
Red laser lights. And so we're like, this is weird.
Snipers.
Anyway,
Sorry.
we get our things escalate.
Okay.
So we have our
Dude, that is
binoculars.
insane.
We have our binoculars. We're looking up on the ridge, and I just see these like red lights go on and off, and like they're turning and stuff. There's no like lasers on us or anything
Right.
like that. And yeah, exactly.
Wow.
That's my
shout out to
ringtone.
X-Files.
Shout out to X Files.
It turns out it was David Duchovny. No, I'm just kidding.
God.
You got punked. No. So we're like, okay, this is cool. My buddy who's with me, he's like, I got to take a leak. So he goes behind the car, just takes a leak, comes back. And all of a sudden, on the ridge, we see like 4 or 5 shapes. Because it's only 10 and it's Las Vegas, so it's like really bright stars and stuff. We can start to make out the outline of like vehicles and stuff up there. So like, okay, it's probably just guys trying to mess with us or whatever. All of a sudden, all the lights on these vehicles pop on and start to come down the hill. We're like, might be a good time to get going.
Uh-oh.
Let's let's go ahead and make
15 miles
yeah,
an
it was
hour
like
away.
negative.
Oh god.
No. We drove faster. So anyway, we see the lights for like a second. Yeah, it's like 24 miles an hour instead. We see the lights go out again, and we're like, okay, maybe we're safe. Let's just go ahead and leave. We've seen, we saw some stuff. We heard some sonic booms. Really cool.
Yeah, we're good. No
Yeah,
more.
we're good. Well, let's don't push our luck,
I
right?
ain't trying to die.
Not trying to stay here. And let's get back to Vegas. So we get in the car, turn it around, and we're heading out. Again, we're like going 15, right? All of a sudden, right on my bumper, Ford Raptors. This is before the Raptor had been released to the public.
Whoa.
Right? So these huge bright lights, guys on the top of the truck, like on the back of the truck holding on. I'm sure they were strapped with guns or something. You couldn't see anything. You just saw the lights, and like I saw the grill, and now I know those were Ford Raptors. I didn't know what they were then. I was like, those are badass
They're
trucks.
from the future.
Yeah, these are alien trucks. Nope, they're dinosaur trucks called Raptors. And so I'm like, we are out. And I couldn't play y'all the audio of what we captured because it was so explicit. It was just like,
Yeah.
we're gonna die. We know
I
we're
don't want to get murdered. by
we're
the
going to
government.
die here. And all of a sudden I realized, bro, you left your DNA back there. You pissed on the road.
Is your
And
friend alive?
He flips out. He flips out. He's like hyperventilating, like, I just left they're gonna clone me. all of this stuff, like all of this crazy stuff.
First thing that he thinks of.
We're going
I
like
would too.
now.
I'm having an anxiety attack right now.
Now I am too. Now we're going 70 down the road because I don't want to die. I'm like, I'm trying to get back to that penthouse suite. I'm gonna get in the jacuzzi, pretend like none of this happened. Like I'm going back to the Winchester, have a pint, wait for all this to blow over. So probably a mile. They're chasing us. They're chasing us for like a mile, and then all of a sudden the light's gone. Nothing.
Oh, they just scared you.
Yeah, they're just messing with us.
They were scared
I thought we were
away.
gonna. Yeah, they were just getting rid of us.
Wow.
But my question is, we weren't doing anything. Why were they getting rid of us?
Mm-hmm.
What were they about to test? That we were too close to the barrier because everybody else in the town was like 7 miles away.
Yeah.
We were the closest civilian to the line. So what were they about to test, or what was going on?
If you weren't trespassing, then
Right, there was no need. Or
Well, that's why they probably didn't arrest
Well, they were
you or
probably
do
like, "Oh,
anything.
we got an audience here. Let's throw some sonic booms out."
so
and
possible
go
that
on,
they were
get
just
it.
messing with us. Possible that they were getting ready to test something, or they knew something else was coming in
Yeah.
and then needed for us to get out.
Isn't there some kind of thing where Google Maps like blurs out?
Yeah, it's
some area?
gray.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
so.
it's pretty. It was wild.
All right, well, that is insane, and that is our show. So, just want to say special thanks to Kyle Kahn at Kyle Kahn Studios for the space that we do our podcast, and also a big thanks to All the Rest at All the Rest Music for our jingles. Hope you guys like these shows. We got one more episode for October. We're going to do some crazy topics. So, I'm excited. You guys have a good one. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate
Adios.
y'all. Love you.
Bye.